What is up, scary awesome people? Here we are at the end of another week, and we are down to the finest of wires here in October spooky season. This is the recap for Scary Awesome Stuff Week 7 Halloween movie marathon. Got through a pile of great films, and we are getting to the end, which means that the films that we're watching now are those of my physical collection and the ones that I pride and find the most prestige in owning physically on my horror shelf. So you know they're going to be my favorites, and I'm very excited when we get to the end, because it is always bittersweet to get to the end, but I always get to watch the best movies for last. So we got through a bunch. Obviously, they're the more mainstream ones and the more popular ones typically are easier to find on actual disc. So you've probably heard a lot of these ones, but hopefully you had a chance to watch them along with me. And maybe there's a couple of gems in there that you had not heard of. So without further ado, this week we got through starting with the Shining miniseries. I'm a big fan of just about every single one of the Stephen King miniseries. The Shining is arguably my favorite, probably because it provided the most accurate representation of the book. The Kubrick Shining, of course, is amazing, but the character arcs in it are completely different than the book, which is why Stephen King hated it so much. But it was good. But the miniseries, they're almost like two totally separate movies. So if you haven't seen the miniseries, please go check it out, because it is fantastic and a true testament to the book. Then we had Jeepers Creepers. For those of you who love, angry truck driving monsters, it's a scary film. That's real good. Jeepers Creepers. 13 Ghosts. That along with House on Haunted Hill. They're made by the same company, and they're both amazing. I haven't got to House on Haunted Hill. I'm sure we'll get to that this week, is my guess. But go check out 13 Ghosts if you haven't seen it. There's supposed to be a series coming to HBO, which outlines each of the ghosts. Let's hope we get that. The Frighteners. Michael J. Fox, Peter Jackson directed. Amazing film. One of my favorites from high school. Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Knight, their first theatrical movie. And it is another amazing movie from high school that I loved. Soundtrack is also quite amazing. Maximum Overdrive, one of my top 10 films. My review is up that I did a number of years ago. It's pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But yeah, it is amazing. A coked up Stephen King directing his own short story. You can't go wrong. Lost Boys, tried and true vampire film from the 80s. Everyone loves that movie. It is widely popular for a reason. There's not a lot of vampire movies that are out there where you can see, an oiled up, muscly saxophone dude play a solo. So go check that out. The Devil's Carnival. That is the follow-up film to Repo the Genetic Opera, people. Another awesome gothic rock musical. It's almost a short film. It's like 70 minutes, but it is fantastic. Some great songs in there. Beetlejuice, the sequel that people loved it or hated it, but I can't get enough anything Beetlejuice, so I will take it, and I love it, and I watched it. Then we did a Story Corner video, another one, the second one. It is pretty great. A Neil Gaiman story I read, so go check that out if you haven't seen it. It's good and spooky. We watched Aliens, arguably my favorite in the series. James Cameron directed. What more can you say about Aliens? We had a theatrical break to go see Black Phone 2. I'm a big fan of the first one. If you like the first one, go check this out. It is as good as the first one. That doesn't happen all that often. Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton classic, and one of my favorite stories. It is an amazing film, and that was a new pickup this year to upgrade to Ultra HD, so I was happy to watch the shiny new version. Constantine, another new pickup this year for Ultra HD. Keanu Reeves. It is a fantastic film. I'm super, super, super excited to hear that we're edging even closer to the sequel, which has been in work for years and years. Constantine, worth the watch. Then I did a gaming corner with my retro shooter on a lost to time light gun VHS console. Go check that out if you want to blast from the past. Then I watched the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a big fan. Obviously, Freddy is one of my favorites. I pick him over Jason and Michael Myers myself. I do like the comedic elements in those films. Then we watched Willy's Wonderland, a Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff with a silent Nick Cage performance that is better than Five Nights at Freddy's and came out first to the movies. Obviously, it was a knockoff of the game, but it is a great, great movie. It's got some pretty funny moments. Check out Willy's Wonderland. Then we had PG Psycho Goreman, a Canadian horror film filmed up in St. Catharines. It is pretty dang hilarious. Story being two kids who find a gemstone that give them control of a world-eating monster. That's the plot. What can I say? Go check it out. It is pretty funny. Psycho Gourmet. Army of Darkness. Bruce Campbell's best work. And we almost got a sequel to Army of Darkness, for those who didn't know, but they ended up turning it into Ash versus the Evil Dead series. I don't know which one I would have preferred. I really love that series, but the movie would have been fantastic. That's hard to say, but we got Army of Darkness, which is amazing in and of itself. Then we watched Ghostbusters 2016, the female-led Ghostbuster one that gets a lot of hate. As those of you who know me, a hardcore Ghostbusters fan, and I thought it was okay the first time I watched it, but like a few other films, it got funnier every single time I watched it, and it has a special place for me. So it is a pretty good movie. It is outside of the regular Ghostbusters, so take it for what it is, but it is pretty good. And last but not least, the end of this week, we watched Sweeney Todd. Arguably, from a theatrical and production standpoint, Tim Burton's best work. I think it attracted the best audience outside of the Tim Burton cult. But it is a fantastically made film from front to back on one of the best plays that I have ever seen. So Sweeney Todd, Tim Burton finished it up this week. And that puts us at 182 films. This is going to be the year, I can feel it, that we crack 200. We've always gotten just to the line, give or take 10 or 15 films. But this week, and I'm even away for a week, getting some awesome Halloween Vegas content for y'all, I still think we're going to hit 200 films. So we will see at the end of the week where we're at, because at the end of this week, we are, as of tomorrow, which is a Monday, 1 week away from that trip. So there'll be a different stream of content coming at you. So let's see what we get to this week. But that is it for week number 7. We are going to do our scratcher now to see what the mystery movie is going to be. Last week we got through 3 or 4 cards, and they're all movies I watched. So what we learned was, don't pick this thing up at the end, pick it up at the beginning. So we're going to scratch off some cards. Last week I said that I would watch 28 Years Later, and I almost did, but I decided we're only a couple months away from the sequel to that, which were shot back to back. So I'm going to wait and watch them together. The Bone Temple is coming out in January, so we're going to wait on that one. So this week, let's see what we got. And we have 1980's The Fog. All right, I'm actually pretty excited to see that one. It's been a long time. They made a remake. I do remember the remake was not as good as the original, so we're going to go back and watch the 1980 version as our creature feature scratch off this week. And that is going to wrap it for week number 7. As always, please like and subscribe and share. The more we do, the more we get. So that is what it's all about. So please do that. I hope you enjoyed this week and some extra segments. I promise I have a few more tricks up my sleeve from the Halloween 2025 Scary Awesome Stuff Marathon, because we've had some treats. We're going to have some tricks because we're not quite done yet. Let's get there. But as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Stay spooky, everybody.